Gentlemen, this is a unique opportunity because we have, for the first time, brought together on one platform 6 World Cup winning captains and members of every World Cup winning team on one platform. So give them all a very big hand. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, as I said, a very exclusive club. It only has 8 members, 6 of whom are here. What does it feel like to be part of this exclusive club is what I'm going to start with. And I'm going to start with you, Ricky Ponting, because you are one of only 3 cricketers to have won the World Cup 3 times. What does it mean today to be along with these galaxy of greats for someone like you who himself is a great?
Yeah, it's quite remarkable, really, when you look down the line here of past World Cup winning captains and think you're a part of a very small club, really. You think this is the whole history of World Cup cricket right before us here, and it's quite remarkable, I think, that it hasn't happened before somewhere, even just the 3 Australian captains, that we haven't done something like this at home. But I think it's a great idea and a great concept. When I saw the opportunity to come over and be a part of it, I jumped at it as quick as I could, and just to be here and tell some stories and hear some stories about, cricket, back a number of years ago and when the World Cup first started off, has been fantastic.
It's a question that I've often wondered, which was the greatest World Cup team of all? It's going to be tough for each of you to decide which one that is, but I'm still going to ask it. At the start, which is the greatest World Cup team? Steve Waugh, I saw you sort of think about it for a moment. Is there one World Cup team out of all these winning teams that stands out for you, or is that an unfair question that I should be asking you?
Yeah, it's a totally unfair question, particularly asking me first. Look, I'm going to discount my side because you can never pick your own team. Look, I think growing up for me, watching the great West Indies sides of the 70s and 80s, they were the benchmark for all cricket countries, and I think the successful Australian era, we took a lot from how the West Indies played. We almost copied their blueprint. We tweaked it a bit to suit our own game. So I'm going to go with one of Clive Lloyd's sides because I think a team that was unbeaten for 15 years in most forms of the game, definitely Test cricket, and probably one-day cricket for a long period of time, I think that was an amazing side. So I'll go with one of Clive's sides.
Okay, so Clive Lloyd, you have the distinction of being awarded by Steve Waugh as the greatest World Cup winning team. I think that, you didn't have to, many believe that you didn't have to do anything in that team. You had these 4 great fast bowlers. There was Viv Richards, and then there was you. No, I mean, what did you really have to do anything as captain? Did everybody know what they had to do? You are the greatest World Cup team according to Steve Waugh.
Well, I'll buy you a drink later on. I think the thing is that we probably didn't have the first World Cup. We didn't have that, that array of fast bowlers. We had people like Bernard Julian, who was a brisk medium, sort of right arm optimistic, I would say. But we had some very good batters, and we had 1 or 2 pretty good all-rounders too. So it gelled pretty well. So really, actually, it's afterwards, the '79 and the '80s. Really, we had a very, very good side. And so I would have thought that probably '79 we had a much better cricket inside.
So 1979 West Indies team. No one hit a cricket ball harder than you. And I often wondered, your hands are huge. I know now how you hit the cricket ball so hard.
I wish I had one of these bats that they have now.
If you were playing T20 cricket today, you would go for the highest auction in the auction.
Oh, really?
You might. So you just have to turn the clock back. But the most surprising victory was possibly 1983. And the man who did it is next to Clive Lloyd. Kapil Dev, you've been asked this question many times, I know. Do you really believe, when did it really sink in that you had actually won the World Cup? Did you really believe when you went to sleep that night on June 25th, 1983, that I have won the World Cup? You have defeated Clive Lloyd's West Indians?
Oh, it took me 25 years to understand we won the World Cup.
It took you 25 years?
Yeah, I think everybody is keep on saying, they were a better team. But now, I think after 25 years, all of you, media, everybody is saying, yes, we won the World Cup. So I would say it took me 25 years to understand, yes, Indian team won the World Cup.
And whenever you meet Clive, do you remind him about that day or not?
No, I remember about picking up few champagne bottle from his room. That's it. I remember about that because they had round about 40, 50 bottle of champagne. I mean, any captain, anybody could order once a team is out for 183. So when we won, the tradition at that time is you go to the losing team's dressing room, and I saw there's a lot of a champagne bottle was there, and I said, they're not going to drink. Perhaps we can use it.
So you're telling us today that the Coca-Cola bottles were in the Indian team because you didn't think you were going to win, and the champagne bottles were in the West Indies team because they thought they were going to win, right?
Yeah, I think that was the real thing was that. And we picked up and we didn't say thank you. We said thank you after 20 years. Thanks, Clive. You know,
Alan Border, the Australians are, of course, the great beer drinkers. I don't think you all are champagne drinkers. You are the great beer drinkers. And you won in Kolkata in front of what was the largest crowd ever, I think, in a World Cup final. More than 100,000 people. I presume you must have cleaned out crates of beer. What was it like for you? Because you were leading a very young, raw team, much like Kapil Dev in 1983.
Yes, it was a bit surreal, to be honest, playing in front of that size crowd, an unfancied side, but we'd got through the tournament very well. We were a very well prepared side, very good in the field, and we had, the first time in my memory, we actually went into games with some sort of game plan, specific targets when we batted and guys to bowl at certain stages throughout the innings. So we had a lot more structure to the way we played our cricket. So, we gave ourselves a bit of a chance going to the game, but I do have very fond memories of turning up at Eden Gardens, and I don't know whether it was because we were the underdogs or we were playing England, but the whole crowd basically were going for us. So it was just like playing in front of a home crowd at the MCG. So it was a tremendous atmosphere and just the most fantastic feeling at the end.
And how many crates of beer did you finish?
There was quite a bit of beers drunk last night. Most of it gets spilt, sprayed around the dressing room in celebration. So we wasted probably more than we drank.
Amir Sohail, there's a story which is said that apparently Imran decided that you were going to win this World Cup at a time when in that 92 World Cup you were virtually out. You had to win every game to stay in the World Cup. And there were some reports that tickets had been booked for you to go back to Pakistan. And when Imran suddenly told you that you had to start winning every match, tell us what it was like to play under Imran. Were you frightened of Imran?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. It's an honor to be sitting along with these great players and representing Imran Khan. Yes, it's true. When we started our campaign for 92 World Cup, we had a setback. Javed Miandad couldn't travel with the team. Then we landed in Australia. Waqar Younis got injured. But what Imran did great in that particular World Cup was he kept on giving confidence to individuals to start with. He was not talking to the team. He was giving confidence to the individuals, especially who he was banking on. He gave a lot of confidence to individuals. Yes, we lost 2-3 games initially in the World Cup, but when he kind of recovered from his shoulder injury, when he decided to captain the team again, he started to dish out the roles and he started talking collectively to the team. Okay, we can win the World Cup, and that was the great thing about Imran Khan at that time. First he dealt with the individuals, then the team collectively.
Arjuna Ranatunga, in many ways, people would say you are a very different captain to most of these here. You're relatively calmer than the people on your left-hand side, certainly. The two of you, yes. But, it was incredible what you achieved in 1996. Much like what Kapil Dev achieved for India in 1983, it was a breakthrough moment for Sri Lankan cricket. Do you believe that moment changed Sri Lankan cricket forever?
I think so. I personally feel that the cricket went into a different route. Each and every kid wants to play cricket. Each and every kid wants to play for the country. But if you analyze the entire World Cups, I was playing under 12 when Clive Lloyd won the World Cup in '75. And when Kapil won in '83, I was part of the Sri Lankan team in the World Cup, and I was wondering, apart from Sunil and Kapil, there were no so-called great cricketers in that side. How can they win? And that's inspired me to think that we are a nation whom we can win a World Cup. Then it happened in '92 when Imran and the team won the World Cup from nowhere. They were a very young side, but the way Imran captain, it inspired me. If India, Pakistan can win, why can't Sri Lanka win? And those are the things happened to me in my life. And when you analyze all the teams, Alan Border's team was a very young side. I give a lot of respect for all the captains and all the teams, but for me,
which was the best ever World Cup team?
Obviously, West Indies, there's no doubt about that. No, I think there's so many different teams you can choose from because the Australians had a good mix. There's no doubt about that, and that's why they've won so many World Cups. They seem to have it together. It's very difficult to say at the moment. But
and the greatest World Cup player for you? If you were to choose one player who you believe has done more for the World Cup than any other, who would that be?
Oh, boy.
Because you scored 100 in the very first World Cup final. You lit up that final. So you can choose yourself also.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, not at all. I would think someone like Imran, because if you notice the situation at that time, I think they had, Australia had to make 30 runs to win, I think, and the rain came and they got a point. And from there on in, they won the competition. So it was a situation where luck plays a part, but you have to win all your games. And I think that he brought some life into Pakistan cricket.
Okay, so I was hoping you would say my favorite cricketer, Viv Richards, but we'll leave that for another day because I don't think anyone has played the game as well as he did. But Kapil Dev, if you had to choose the best World Cup team out of all these victories over the years, and any player who stands out for you, who would that be?
I think it's very difficult to pick, a team because I can easily say West Indies without any doubt. They have the team, they have the player, they have the ability to win it. But as same, the Australian team had that ability. They had the cricketer who can win it, and there was not underdog. But always, this afternoon also, I mentioned about Sri Lankan team was the cherry on the cake. Nobody expected, very subdued people, very soft people, handful of people come out and keep on winning. According to me, I think Sri Lankan team was the cherry on the cake because they didn't have a team. With the big names, they have Muralidharan, Arvinda De Silva, my hero all time. I think he was the cricketer I will pick for the moment. I would say he was the cricketer, or Shane Warne is the cricketer of the World Cup. I mean, these are the cricketer who can, lit up your eyes and say, oh man, they can on their own win. No doubt Vivian Richard is the best ever we've seen, but I think I would go with always being an underdog. I like to go with the Sri Lankan team. I think they won it under all odds. It was beautiful to see their winning.
Alan Border, any World Cup team or any World Cup that stands out, or any player or performance that stands out for you?
Yeah, well, look, my first World Cup was 1979, and I saw, one of the great teams, I think, in the West Indies. I actually went to the final and watched the game, and to watch Viv Richards absolutely destroy England in that particular match, that sort of fueled the fires for me as far as World Cup cricket goes. I'd like to see a game between that 79 West Indies side and, say, the Australian side of 2003. That'd be some match.
Ricky Ponting, who would win that match? If there was a match between the 1979 West Indians and the 2003 Australians, who do you think would win?
Definitely the West Indies.
No, but honestly, Ricky, any moment for you? The great thing is you scored 100 in the finals of 2003. Clive Lloyd scored 100 in the finals of 1975. So we have two centurions of World Cup finals. But is there any player or any moment for you that stands out in World Cup history that you think is the greatest moment? We believe in this country that what Dhoni did, what Kapil Dev did, stands out above all else. So I must tell you, you're before an Indian audience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look back at World Cups, there's 50 moments in every World Cup, isn't there, that really stand out. But I'm just thinking back through the different years here now, and when you think about standout moments, you think of things or players that really changed how the game was played. And I think Arjuna's team did that in 96 with the way they attacked the first 15 overs. Other teams hadn't done that to the extent that the Sri Lankans had done in that tournament. So they probably reinvented the way that 50-over cricket was looked at and the way the game was played. So that tournament, I believe, was a real game changer as far as 50-over cricket was played from that moment on. And then it was only, a couple of years later, and we had Adam Gilchrist and Mark were opening the batting, going out and playing the same way. Every other team really tried to copy the way that the Sri Lankans played, especially at the top of their order. So a special moment in World Cup cricket for me would be the Sri Lankan team in 96.
Okay. Let me say, if I'm given the chance, my favourite moment is Kapil Dev running back and taking that catch of Viv Richards that won us that World Cup. I will never forget it, and I will never forget your smile. I don't think that moment is etched in every Indian's memory. You running back, taking that catch, and Madan Lal, who I think is here somewhere in the audience, was the bowler. It is a very special moment, Kapil Dev.
Yeah,
you should say that. That was the moment. We should all say that was the moment that stood out for most of us. For Indians,
I think talk about yourself is let people say. When you talk about the group of people, I always like to see what other people done.
But was that the moment where you think we won that World Cup final?
Not really. till Mohinder Ramana taken the last wicket of Michael Holding. I would say that was the moment we won the World Cup. And that was the very important moment. If you can really, if I have to remember, I thought Gordon Greenwich wicket by Balwinder Singh Sandhu was the best moment at that time, because we need a start against West Indies, who had such a brilliant team, all-time great team, and you need a good start to, finish the end. So I think that was Balwinder Singh Sandhu ball was very, very important to us.
Sir, हमारे लिए कपिल देव का जवाब नहीं, and that catch represented that. So I'm